summer before my senior year of high school. I think I kind of had this idea that my senior year would be somewhat like High School Musical. So smooth sailing, and I just thought it was going to be one last hurrah with my friends. I remember I was standing in the kitchen with my mom, and she had noticed that I just had not been myself. I just wasn't kind of the happy Brooke that she was used to. And I think I was in denial about it, but thankfully I have a mom that cares and that has always invested in my life and even had the hard conversations that a lot of times I probably didn't want to hear but needed to hear. And she said, "Brooke, I think that you have depression." At the time I wasn't emotional because I was in denial and I didn't want to even think about that possibility. But deep down I knew that something was wrong. And she said, "I know a doctor that could help you. If you're willing to go, I'll go with you." And so the next week we went to the doctor together, and I just remember sitting in this big green chair and explaining everything that had been going on in my life. The mood swings and the weight gain and wanting to be by myself and not wanting to open up to anyone about it. And I spilled it all out, and he looked me in the eyes and said, "Brooke, I think you're severely depressed." And I just bawled. And I looked over at my mom, and I was so thankful that she had brought me there. But that was not how I expected my senior year to go. And so I remember talking through it with the doctor, and I had so many misconceptions about what depression even was just as a high schooler. I just thought it was kind of one of those things where you just pick yourself up and you'll get on with it. And I realized that there was something physically wrong with my body too, and he explained that to me about chemical imbalances and hormones and all of the things, all of the different words that I didn't understand at the time. I hadn't opened up to anyone about it. So I remember leaving that appointment and thinking, I don't want to tell the rest of my family. I don't want to tell my friends. For sure didn't want to tell the people at church, because I felt like I had this reputation of just being the happy-go-lucky, had it all together, on the outside at least, girl, and I didn't think that it was okay to talk about it, and I didn't think it was okay to not have it all together. And I remember being at midweek on a Wednesday night, and service had ended, and I walked by Jeff Skipper, and he said, "How are you?" And I fired back my normal response, "Fine, good, how are you?" And he said, "No, really, how are you?" Because he knew. And once again, I broke down because I hadn't opened up to anyone about it. And I sat down and I shared what was actually going on in my world, what I was struggling through, what I was walking through. And I felt accepted, and there was a lot of freedom in that. And from there, it's kind of like a ripple effect of getting to open up to my life group leaders and just the body of Christ, just my friends at church, getting to open up and be like, "Hey, this is what I'm walking through, and I could really use your encouragement and your support and your prayers right now." And I just remember feeling so loved and accepted for who I really was and what was actually going on in my world, and not the Brooke that I was trying to put up on the outside. There are a lot of unexpected things that he then uses for our good and for his glory. And so more than anything, I think that was what I saw through that, because that was one of the most difficult years of my life, no doubt about it. But I'm so thankful for it, because he used that to refine my walk with him, to draw me closer to him. And little did I know then that I would be the girls minister at CFBC now and get to share my story in that that story that part of my story that I associated with shame is now being used to open doors with people that I never thought would open up about something like that.